Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm here with a new installment of Am I Gonna Buy This? A series in which I talk about the new product launches and announcements from the previous month and talk about whether or not I am interested in picking any of these things up. Am I gonna roast them? Am I gonna anti-haul them? What are we gonna do? I don't know. If you live here in the States, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and if you work in retail anywhere throughout the world, I hope you all survived Black Friday. Also, you guys can see a bit of the fresh color, because I know my last video you guys couldn't see the fresh color because I was bumming it out that day. So we don't have too many things that we're going to be talking about today. I know I have 38 launches on my list. Now whether or not we're going to talk about every launch that I have on my list and everything once this video goes live, there's no telling. But it's looking like this is going to be a smaller list, especially as we're entering December. The launches are really going to start slacking off because a lot of brands are taking a break because they put out all these things for holiday and then they start taking a break in preparation of their spring launches. We're gonna go ahead and start diving on into this, but before we do so, if you guys are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and also while you're down there, definitely give this video a thumbs up because that'll help me out a lot. All my links are down in the description box below, and those are the links to my Twitter, Instagram, and my music channels, so definitely check me out in those places if you are interested. And let's go ahead and get started. Now that I'm scooching on over, let's go ahead and get started with these new launches. And this first one that we have here is from Cosmetics, and this is the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette in Saturn's Return. And this is just a cool toned palette here. This is very gray. This is very gray. I like a cool toned moment, but I like it when it's a more browny than gray, because I feel like when it comes to grays, they can really start blending together with one another and start to get a little bit redundant, because there's only so many ways that you can do gray, but you can do cool toned browns a lot differently, more times than none. Also, these 6-pan palettes from Cosmetics are $42. They're so expensive. The next launch that I have here is from Trixie Cosmetics, and they extended some of their single blush shades. Now, I think I talked about this last month with the Horse Girl collection, where they launched a single blush for that collection, and in here they released single blushes for some of their favorite shades, I believe. And yeah, they're gonna be like favorite shades from the Just a Girl collection and the Mod About You collection. And I really want that light neutral blush. That one is what's calling my name. And maybe even that light peachy shade. But that neutral shade though, I love a neutral tone blush. That is just something that I really enjoy and everything, because since I do a lot more like colorful looks a lot of the times, I do dabble into neutral looks every now and again, as you guys can see today. But whenever I go for a very bright and colorful look, a neutral tone blush is usually what I go for. We have a launch from Ensley, and this is the Lands of Enchantment palette. And this is like a pastel to jewel toned palette, and there are like ranges of like mattes and metallics in here, and this looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. The artwork on this palette alone is low-key making me want this palette. I already have like a pastel rainbow palette in the Glam Light Ice Cream palette, but like I said, this goes up to like jewel tones, and the metallics in here look like they are going to be just so pretty. Ooh, I might get it. I might get it eventually at some point in time, but I have no clue when or if that might be. Next up, we have a line of makeup that I didn't know existed before. I didn't know that Herrera had a makeup line. And who knows, maybe this is like the first steps that they're going into with makeup, but they are launching the Good Girl Liquid Blush. And these are a 2-in-1 cheek blush and lip color hybrids. They're $46 each, so they're definitely more on the pricier side of things. The packaging is really cute. It is really cute. And the colors that they have selected here are pretty like normal shades that you can see come from like blushes and everything, especially if it's like a big first time blush line and everything. But then again, like these are also products that are designed to be used on the lips as well. I'm curious to hear if anybody has tried these out or going to try these out. I haven't heard anybody talk about them, so I'm definitely going to keep my ears out and open for them and whatnot, because I haven't heard anything about them yet. And then next up we have a new launch from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and these are their new Cream Glide lip liners. And this is giving me what I know and remember from e.l.f., and those are dirt cheap makeup products, because these lip liners are only but $2 each. Like, this is like the era of e.l.f. that I know and that I am familiar with, not like this like TikTok viral makeup brand where their products are like $8 to $10. I remember e.l.f. being like a very cheap, affordable brand where you can get like almost like a full face of makeup from them for about like less than $30. I don't personally use lip liners, and if I do have a lip liner, it's usually a red, but it's because it's eye safe and I want to use it in my waterlines. But that's the only reason why I would have a lip liner. I just don't personally see the point in lip liners, for me at least. I know for other people they definitely work wonders for, and they are definitely something that you need. Alright, so next up we have a launch from Cara Beauty, and this is such a cute but slightly unhinged launch. This is the Cookie Tin Creative Beauty Palette. It's cute because of the reference, but it is unhinged because of the layout. This is so bizarre. I don't even know where you'd get this from, and I don't even know if the quality would even be that good. This is a brand that I am never going to support, but I do want to touch on it real quick and everything, because I'm sure some people are going to probably be curious about how I feel about this brand. But this is a launch from Painted, which is James Charles' makeup brand, and he is putting out the Basic Canvas palette, and it is very much that, a very like basics kind of palette. It does have some like poppy kind of colors in there, but it's just such a bland and boring color scheme. I know that there's still a very new brand and whatnot. I think this is possibly their second launch, because I think that they put out like eye paints when they first came out. I don't know. I remember one day when I was at work, I remember we were roasting, I think it was a promo video for the eye paints, where he was just like literally just painting on somebody, and it's just like, it was a weird move. It was a weird move. I don't support James Charles. I do plan on doing a deep dive into him after I do my deep dive onto Tati Westbrook, which I think will probably go out next week. If I had the time, I would film that video today. So the next thing that we have is a launch from Carly Bybel's brand, and this is the Beauty Bybel's first ever launch, which they are basically launching a full-blown range of products and everything. So we have the OG eyeshadow palette, which is an 18-pan palette full of nothing but neutrals, basic bitch juice kind of palette. I mean, that's what she's known for and everything. She's known for the neutrals and whatnot. And then too, it's the first launch and whatnot. it's to be expected to have a basic bitch juice palette for a first launch for like a brand that's gonna have like this kind of target demographic. There are 6 matte velvet lipsticks. We have 7 matte lip liners, a magic eyeliner, 6 creamy lip glosses, and then 6 highlighters. Yeah, there's a lot in here. There is a lot going on here. The packaging on the products is really cute. I really like the embossing on the lipsticks. Like when you look up close, it looks really beautiful, but far away, it does look as if like the lipsticks are kind of like going through like the limit configuration process and having their skin removed a little bit. Just gonna say that. But I mean, when you look up close though, the embossing is really pretty. When they do have a pale pink highlighter. Ew. Okay, the packaging on this liquid liner, that is a bit much. That is a bit much. That is really gaudy and just not fun. But this is looking to be like a mid to high ranged price point for the products, and so it's nothing too crazy. Like the eyeshadow palette is $39, which for an 18 pan palette, that's pretty like decent price point and everything. All the other items range from 16 to 22. And so again, it's like more like mid-range to high-end kind of price point. So it's nothing like too high, but it's also not the most affordable either. Like it's definitely not like a drugstore price point. This first launch of products isn't really catching my attention except for that pink toned highlighter, because I like pink toned highlighters. I'm very cool toned, so something that's like more pinkier in tone when it comes to highlights, I tend to really gravitate towards them. Except we have the relaunch and a new launch from Oden's Eye, and that is that they have relaunched their holiday palettes from last year, and then they also launched 2 new holiday palettes for this year. So the ones that they brought back are the Merry Christmas palette and the Christmas Eve palettes. And so those guys, a lot of people really loved those palettes and lost their minds over those particular palettes. The color stories are pretty, but they're not really my kinds of color stories and whatnot. And the 2 new ones that they put out are the Snow Dream and the Hey Reindeer palette. Do like the color story in the Hey Reindeer palette just a little bit more than the Snow Dream, but they're still pretty palettes and everything. They're not going to be palettes that I'm personally am going to go after. Oden's Eye is a brand I only have a 1 palette from, and that is the Hella palette done in collaboration with Enjelk and Ikvis. That particular palette I do really enjoy. I've used it a handful of times. It has a nice formula. I don't know if I like the formula enough though to not necessarily get more from the brand, but if a good color story comes along the way, I might get it. Now, this guy I am very excited about. I don't know if it's going to come into Ulta. Okay, it says that it's going to be coming soon to Ulta. Okay, I don't know when soon is going to be, but it's probably going to be around the beginning of the year if I know like launch times for this line, and that is Billie Eilish's fragrance line. And this is the Eilish number 3 Eau de Parfum, and it seems like it's going to be like more so like a holiday kind of scent. But honestly, wear fragrances whenever the hell it is that you want to wear a fragrance. And if you're unfamiliar with her fragrance line, it is a bit more on the more affordable side of fragrances, because the 3.4 ounce or the 100 ml bottle is $72. So keep that in mind. I liked the original fragrance, and I also like the second one. The second one is really interesting. It's a really interesting scent, and honestly, I think that original scent is what really sent like fragrance lines going crazy over vanilla scents this year. I think that's why we have so many vanilla scents coming out, is because of the massive success of that first Billie Eilish fragrance. It's gonna be grapefruit, pink peppercorn, and jasmine. And then the heart notes are going to be saffron, fir needle, and creamy cedar. And then the base notes are going to be amber, oak moss, and skin musk. This is definitely going to be something that I am going to have to smell in person, because there are a lot of things happening with this particular scent that I am not going to be into, but there are some things that I'm curious about this scent though, because I do like a piney kind of scent. But the thing is though, is that jasmine I am very particular about. I typically don't care for amber, and skin musk, skin scented anything I tend to not be a fan of. Like Lazy Sunday from Replica pisses me off because it just smells like straight up skin. Like, why are you paying that much money to just smell like your body? I don't get it. I do not get it. The next launch that we have here is from Cosmic Brushes, which I've heard so many good things about this brand. And this is their Winter Wonderland palette. And this color story, I mean, I love a good like blue purple color story, but these shimmers in here are really intriguing me. I don't know if you guys can see it happening here in this promo photo. I can definitely see it, but there are definitely some like duochromes happening in here, maybe even a multi-chrome as well. I can't tell if that one's going to be a multi-chrome or if it's just a duochrome. In the description on this Trend Mood post, it does say that there are multi-chromes and duochromes. No, 28 pounds. So that's probably going to equal out to be about, probably about 35 USD maybe. That might be a bit overshooting it. When it comes to the British pound, I am not too familiar with the conversion rates on it. I know with euros, if it was 28 euros, then it would probably go to about 31, 32 USD. The price point isn't that bad. I might get this. I don't need any more bluey palettes and color stories and whatnot in my collection, but I'm really curious about this though. The next launch that we have here is from Bobbie Brown, which again, I know that they're not cruelty free, but I want to roast the hell out of this Powerpuff Girls collection. What about this, besides the packaging, says Powerpuff Girls? Even then, it doesn't even look like it's supposed to be Powerpuff Girls. Bobbie, get your shit together. I am so disappointed. Like, this is basically what you get from being like a basic white woman brand trying to cater to like a younger audience, but you don't know how to cater to a younger audience, so you're putting out more stuff to like these basic middle-aged white women. Like, I'm not here for it. I'm over it. So next up we have a new launch from NYX, and this is the Duck Plump lip glosses. And these are a plumping gloss with a spicy ginger ingredient in it that's gonna like give you that tingly feeling to make your lips more plump. And I can't remember whom it was. Was it Jen Loves? Was it somebody that I saw on Twitter, Instagram, or was it when I was watching a video that Jen Loves posted and it was in her video and she mentioned it? But somebody somewhere said that like their brain misread it as Dick Plump, and ever since then I cannot unsee that. So these are the Dick Plumping glosses from NYX. I am not interested in these. Plumping glosses are just a no for me. They're just a no for me. I remember I think it was around this time last year, I was helping somebody out in my previous job. I've been working in beauty retail for a long time now. I'm going on, we're getting close to, I was about to say we're getting close to 2.5 years now. We just passed like the 2-year mark back in September, so we're not approaching 2.5 years yet. We're not that far along yet. But anyways, I was helping out somebody at my previous job in the beauty retail space, and I was showing her the Too Faced lip injections, and I just simply swatched the color just so she could see like what the color would look like, because like she didn't want to have it swatched on herself to see what it would look like on her skin tone. I don't know what was going on there, but I swatched it and everything, and I didn't feel like a tingling or anything like that. But when I went to go wipe it off later, there was a mark on my hand from like the irritation of the ingredients. After that happened, I was like, yeah, no, I'm staying away from these kinds of products. But then too, I know the lip injections are very intense and everything. I don't know how intense these next ones are gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna be lip injection intense. So we'll just have to like see how people feel about them. So next up we have a launch from Wicked Widow Beauty. And this is the Resurrection palette. This is giving me a little bit of the, what was that palette called? Was it the Satan Center palette? I can't remember what that palette was from Kat Von D, like the one with the cathedral, everything. Was it the stained glass palette? It was something like that. It's very much giving me that kind of vibe with the packaging and the color story. It's a rainbow palette that's got like mattes and shimmers in it, and it's also got some like black, white, and grays going on in there too. It's a really pretty color story. You get 10 multi-chromes, 12 duochromes, and then 12 mattes, and it goes for $78. So definitely a bit up there in price, but you gotta keep in mind with having the multi-chromes and the duochromes, those kinds of shadows do cost more to manufacture, so definitely keep that in mind. This is something that I have on my radar. I want to wait and see if somebody that I watch plays with this palette before I look into potentially getting it, because I have never heard of this brand before, and this packaging looks stunning, but I have no clue what their formula is like. So I'm gonna keep my eyes out for it and everything, and see if anybody that I watch tries it out. But just know I am aware that it exists, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. So this next launch, I have two different posts to show you guys here, because we have the initial photo that we saw for like the announcement of this collaboration, but then they put out a photo of the entire collection. So this first photo that we're going to look at is just the palette, and then we'll look at the entire collection afterwards. But here we have the P. Louise and Mikayla Noguera. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't even know if anybody knows how to pronounce her name. I don't even know if she knows how to pronounce her name. Anyways, but the P. Louise and Mikayla collection. And this is the palette, and it is called the To Have and To Hold in Case You Get Cold palette. It's so stupid that it's cute. This is a massive palette, as you guys can see. This could have easily have been like a 12-pan palette, but because P. Louise doesn't know how to do small palettes, this is what we have here. So many of the neutral shades are so similar to one another. So many of the blue shades are so similar to one another. And like I said, this is a massive, massive palette and everything. And I know that this is a palette that was done in collaboration with her, and since that it's there for like her wedding and everything. She's been doing a lot of like collabs centered around her wedding, with trying to make like custom products for her to wear for her wedding. In that regards, I'm like, good for you, boo, have fun. But it's just like, oh God, this could have been dialed back so much and still would have made just as much of an impact as this massive palette here, because here's the full collection. There's a lot of different stuff in here. Like there are multiple lash sets, there's the palette, there's a brush set, there are liquid blushes, there are liquid highlighters, there's a powder highlight. And so there's a lot of different stuff in this collection and everything, but this palette, actually no, this is a different palette that's here. Oh wow, so there's two different palettes. Or is that the same palette and just different lighting? That's the same palette, okay. Just different lighting. But yeah, this is the full collection. It ain't for me, sis. And also, I personally don't really like Mikayla and everything. Like, when she first came about and everything and people started really talking about her, I was just like, oh, she seems interesting. She seems like she knows what she's doing. But I got tired of her very quickly. All right, so next up we have a new launch from Nimya, and these are the Cheeky Flush Cream Blushes. And Nimya, for those of you who don't know, is Nikki Tutorials' makeup brand, which I still really want to try out her products. I really want to try the Where It All Starts cream and the palette, and now these guys. I really want to try out one of these cream blushes. The one that I would probably try out is gonna be the Picture Perfect Peach. That's probably gonna be the one that I would go after. And these are described to be a lightweight cream blush that blends and builds easily. They're gonna be $15 each, and you can get a bundle of all three for $36, which all of that is a really good deal in my opinion. God, that peach shade just looks so good. See, that's the kind of peach tone that I like, the one that has a bit more pink in it. Ooh, just, ooh. I'm gonna need to try that. Alrighty, so we're almost done here, kids. We got another collab here. Now, this is a collab I am excited for, and this is the collab between Melt Cosmetics and Billie Sarian, and this is the Fatally Yours collection. So in here we have the Fatally Yours eyeshadow palette. We have 4 lipsticks, which are going to be Hemlock, Wolfsbane, Gallerina, and Nutmeg. We have 2 ultra matte gel liners in Nightshade and Onyx, and then 2 glitter eye gels in Wisteria and Boomslang. Yeah. And then we have the Fatally Yours heart bag, and then the Deadly Kiss mini liquid lipstick set. Like, this is just like a grungy bitch's dream of a collection. I'm so into this. I'm so into this. And I also love that the palette is all mattes, because I find that when it comes to Melt, I tend to really enjoy their mattes, but their shimmers and metallics are very hit or miss for me. But I tend to really enjoy their matte shades a lot. And so the fact that this is an entirely matte palette, I am really curious about it. I know that the palette's going to be expensive. I already know the palette's going to be expensive. It's probably going to be about $68, $69, something like that probably. Because Melt palettes are just expensive in general, especially when they have this many pans in them. And it's also a collab. So I just know that it's going to be expensive. And I'm curious about the bullet lipsticks as well. There's like a really pale shade, which I think is probably going to be too pale for me. But that warm orangey brown shade, ooh, that one I do like. I do like that one. The liquid lipstick trio I know is designed to be like you like mix and match the colors and whatnot to create custom shades. When it comes to the gel liners, I don't use those kind of products enough to be able to warrant getting those. And same thing goes for glitter gels. Same thing. The bag is super cute. The bag is super cute. I wouldn't have any purpose having it, but it is so cute. Next up, we have a new launch from NYX, and this is the Fat Oil Slick Clicks. And these are basically like the lip oils that they put out. I think it was like earlier this year, towards the end of last year. And they are in that little clicky tube packaging now. So they're going to be like more so like a jelly gloss lipstick kind of packaging now, and I am still not interested in these. I've heard good things about their lip oils, and I was close to getting one not too long ago, but the thing is that I am so picky about lip oils and whatnot. Like, they gotta be the right kind of texture, and they gotta give me the right kind of hydration. Next up, we have a new launch from Kayali, and this is gonna be the Eden Sparkling Lychee. And the keynotes that are going to be happening in the sky are going to be Blackcurrant, Lychee, Rose Damascena, Never heard of that one. Candied Violet, Sugared Amber, and Sandalwood. This is definitely going to need to be something that I would have to smell in person, because this is going to be like, again, like another sweet fruity scent. I don't know if this is going to be my cup of tea though, because Lychee is a bit more on like, it's a bit soury and everything, so it's gonna be like a very like sugary sweet scent, and I don't know if that's gonna be my cup of tea. I like sweet scents, but I don't like it when they get sugary. Alrighty, so next launch that we have is gonna be from Menagerie Cosmetics, and they have finally come out with this palette. They've been talking about this palette for a minute now, and this is the Arthurine eyeshadow palette, and this is, I guess you can say, like a follow-up to their blush palette, which I think that they discontinued. I think they discontinued the Arthurine blush palette, and that they brought in singles instead for the blushes. But this little color story is really pretty. It's a really good, like fall time appropriate color story. I love the packaging. The packaging is so cute. That is the thing that lures me in with this brand, is that their products are just so cute to look at. Just lovely, just absolutely lovely. I don't think I would necessarily go after this particular palette, but I do still want to try more from the brand. But I'm also, if you watched my makeup collection video that I did, I have the Whale Song palette from them, and I am content with just potentially having that be the only palette that I have from them. Not saying that it's because like I don't like their formulas or anything. They have a really good formula. Their metallics are stunning. There aren't really any other palettes from them that really scream to me, if that makes sense. And I don't necessarily want to go out of my way with purchasing products these days if a product doesn't scream to me. This is from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, which this is a brand that I am always hearing people that are really into indie brands rave about. But this color story is not doing it for me. The packaging is doing it for me, but the color story really isn't doing it. And this is the Machina palette from Blend Bunny, and the packaging is so beautiful. Like, it was described when I saw like a teaser for it, and even with a brief description that they have on the palette itself, like the teaser described it as a futuristic grunge palette, and then on the palette it says it's a I think it's 24. Yeah, 24 romantic sci-fi shades. This just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. Yeah, it's just not for me. Like I mentioned, I hear people raving about Blend Bunny so much that I am curious about trying out the brand. It's just that I don't know, like their products just don't really scream at me. Like they seem nice, but they just don't scream at me. I love the packaging on that palette. It's just that the color story just isn't doing it for me. Kind of like this next palette here, and this is from Spellbound Beauty, and this is the Carpe Noctem palette, and the packaging on this is stunning. Like, I know a lot of my goth friends out there are gonna probably want to like go after this palette and everything for like the packaging and even the color story, but for me it is just so lackluster in my opinion. The packaging is what's doing it for me, because the packaging is giving me like Underworld meets Castlevania kind of vibes, and the inside of the palette is just, I'm gonna be really shady when I say this, but this is the first thing that came to mind when I saw the color story for this. It's giving me Makeup Revolution. Yeah, nothing exciting. It's just some grays with a couple of reds. It's just so bland to me. It's so bland. This could have been a 12 pan instead of an 18. Just, Yeah, I'm not here for it. I'm not here. I was looking forward to it because I remember seeing like the teasers for it and everything over the month, and then when I finally saw the end result, it's just like I was rooting for you. And this is what we get. The last launch that we have here is a new launch coming from Drunk Elephant. Have we talked about skincare at all in this video today? I don't think we have. I think we've only have talked about makeup so far, makeup and fragrance. But this is a skincare launch that we have here from Drunk Elephant. And this is the Bora Barrier Rich Repair Cream. And this is supposed to be a moisturizer that's going to help chronically dry skin, a compromised barrier, or mature skin that just can't retain moisture on its own. Ooh, this sounds like something that is going to be perfect for me and my eczema prone skin. Let's see, it's going to be coming to Sephora on December 12th. Okay. Ooh, and I know somebody that works for Drunk Elephant. I wonder if I'll bump into them soon, because I am curious about this. It seems like it's going to be a very rich moisturizer, but like I said, I have eczema prone skin, and when you have eczema prone skin, you gotta have a rich moisturizer in your arsenal for those moments when your skin just gets really dry. Because one way that a Dermalogica rep put it to me, when you have eczema, it's almost as if your skin is leaking moisture. So that's one way to look at it. So if this moisturizer here from Drunk Elephant is supposed to like help to further retain that moisture, that's going to be something that I'm going to be intrigued to try out. And there we have it. Those are all the launches and announcements from the month of November that I wanted to talk to you guys about. How did you guys feel about these products? Are you interested in anything? Did you pick up any of these things, or did you roast and anti-haul some of these things like I did today? But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until I see you guys in my next one, whenever that might be, goodbye.